Welcome back, everybody, to the Defiant Podcast, the place to be if you want to stay ahead of the curve when it comes to DeFi entertainment and sports.
All brought to you by the Defiant the Lifestyle sports brand.
That's right, and today we're going deep on some of the biggest stories that have dropped recently.
We're going to do a deep dive.
Yeah, a deep dive into the world of crypto and DeFi, and then we'll switch gears and take a look at the latest happenings in the sports world.
All right, sounds good.
So think of this as your shortcut to understanding what really matters. We'll cut through the noise and give you the insights you need without getting bogged down in all the details.
Exactly. We're not just going to tell you what happened. We're going to analyze why it matters and what it means for the future.
Okay, so let's kick things off with a story that's been making waves in the crypto world. The price of Cronos, or CRO as it's known, has been on a tear lately, and a lot of that seems to be tied to a pretty unexpected partnership.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see how the lines between crypto and the mainstream media are blurring more and more, and this partnership between the Trump Media and Technology Group and Crypto.com is a perfect example of that.
For sure, you've got this major media platform teaming up with one of the biggest crypto exchanges out there. But for our listeners who maybe aren't as deep in the crypto world, why should they care about this beyond just seeing a price chart go up?
Well, it all comes down to access and exposure. Trump's media presence reaches a massive audience, and a lot of those people might be curious about crypto, but they haven't really dipped their toes in yet.
Right.
And by partnering with Crypto.com, they're creating these on-ramps and use cases that could bring a whole new wave of users into the crypto space.
So it's not just about the hype, it's about creating actual utility for CRO and driving adoption.
Exactly.
But the big question in my mind is, will this actually lead to people using CRO in a meaningful way, or will it just be a flash in the pan? You know, we've seen partnerships like this generate buzz before, but then fizzle out.
Yeah, that's the key question. Will this have staying power? The real test is going to be what kind of tangible integrations and incentives they roll out.
Will people actually be rewarded for using CRO within the Trump media ecosystem? If so, that could create some real demand.
Right. And if it's just a marketing ploy, the impact might be short-lived.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, let's shift gears now to a different kind of development. This time, at the state level, we're seeing some lawmakers in Arizona pushing a bill to create a state-controlled strategic reserve. And the interesting part is that this reserve could potentially include Bitcoin alongside traditional assets like gold and silver.
This is a pretty significant move.
Yeah.
It shows that the conversation about Bitcoin's role in broader financial strategies is gaining traction.
So for someone who's just trying to stay informed, why is this more than just a quirky headline? I mean, is Arizona going to become a crypto whale overnight?
Well, it's probably not going to happen overnight,
Okay.
but the symbolic value here is huge. For a state to even consider holding Bitcoin as part of its reserves sends a strong signal. It's like they're saying, hey, we see Bitcoin as a legitimate asset alongside gold and silver, and that could have a ripple effect on other states' institutions, even international bodies.
So it's not just about Arizona's holdings, it's about the message it sends to the rest of the world.
Exactly. And with all the talk about another bull run in crypto, this could be a well-timed move that adds fuel to the fire.
Okay, let's move on to the world of stablecoins. We've got news that Circle, one of the big players in the stablecoin game, is launching USDC in Japan on March 26th. And that's interesting because Japan has historically been pretty cautious about crypto regulations.
Yeah, Japan's regulatory environment for stablecoins has been really strict. So for Circle to get approval to launch USDC is a big deal.
So for our listeners who might be outside of Japan, why should they care about this?
Well, in today's globalized digital economy, what happens in major financial hubs like Japan can definitely have ripple effects worldwide.
All right.
Increased adoption of USDC in Japan, whether it's by institutions or individuals, could further solidify the role of stablecoins as essential tools for digital commerce and finance.
So it's like getting a seal of approval from a country known for its financial rigor, and that could influence how other regions and financial players view stablecoins.
Exactly. It adds to the growing legitimacy and acceptance of stablecoins globally.
Okay, our final dive into the crypto space takes us to the world of gaming. Forgotten Runiverse, a Web3 MMORPG, is gearing up for its global early access launch on March 26th, 2025, and they've already laid some pretty impressive groundwork.
Yeah, the early numbers are really eye-catching, over 1.46 million gameplay hours and over $700,000 in revenue during their beta and alpha testing. That shows there's real demand for this type of blockchain-integrated gaming experience.
Now, for someone who might be new to the term Web3 gaming, what's the big draw here, and why is the launch of Forgotten Runiverse something worth paying attention to?
So Web3 gaming is all about using blockchain technology to give players more ownership and create decentralized economies. In a game like Forgotten Runiverse, players can actually own their in-game land, their items as NFTs, and participate in an economy fueled by tokens.
That's a big difference from traditional games where the game developers typically own and control all the in-game assets.
Right, and the early success of Forgotten Runiverse suggests that players are really drawn to this model where they have more control and the potential to earn real value through their gameplay.
So it's not just about playing for fun anymore, it's about being a stakeholder in the game world.
Exactly. It aligns the incentives of the players with the long-term health and growth of the game's ecosystem.
So if Forgotten Runiverse takes off, it could signal a wider shift in the gaming industry towards these decentralized, player-centric models.
And the fact that they're airdropping a huge amount of in-game currency to early participants could really jumpstart that economy.
All right, let's switch gears now and head over to the world of sports. First up, some concerning news from the NCAA women's basketball tournament. USC star player Juju Watkins suffered a knee injury early in their win over Mississippi State and had to be helped off the court.
This is a major blow, not just for USC, but for women's college basketball as a whole.
Yeah.
Juju Watkins is an incredible talent, a true freshman sensation, and she's been a key reason for USC's success this season.
So for our listeners who might not be following college basketball super closely, why is this injury such a big deal?
Well, Juju Watkins is more than just a good college player. She's a national phenomenon, breaking records, drawing huge crowds, and she's widely considered to be a future WNBA star.
Wow.
This injury obviously puts a damper on USC's championship hopes, but beyond that, it's a loss for the sport in general.
Right. She brings so much excitement and attention to the game, and it's a shame to see her potentially sidelined.
And of course, it's a big setback for her own promising career. It's a reminder of how fragile and unpredictable athletic competition can be.
Absolutely. One moment you're on top of the world, and the next you're dealing with a serious injury.
Okay, so lastly, let's turn our attention to the U.S. men's national team and their coach, Mauricio Pochettino. There have been some rumblings lately that things aren't going as smoothly as hoped.
Yeah, reports are describing a dreadful week in Los Angeles for the USMNT, and that's raising questions about the team's direction and Pochettino's leadership, especially after all the initial optimism surrounding his appointment.
Right.
So, with major international competitions on the horizon, why should our listeners care about this, even if they're not diehard soccer fans?
Well, the performance of the USMNT has a big impact on the growth and popularity of soccer in the U.S. Strong performances in tournaments like the World Cup can generate a lot of excitement, inspire young players, and really boost the sport's profile.
For sure.
But on the flip side, disappointing results can lead to criticism, questions about coaching and development, and a general lack of enthusiasm for the sport.
So the pressure is definitely on for Pochettino to turn things around and show some progress before these big tournaments.
Yeah, they need to build momentum and confidence, and a setback now could have long-term consequences for the program.
And that wraps up another insightful deep dive into the latest happenings in DeFi entertainment and sports.
We covered a lot of ground today.
We did. We talked about the Cronos price surge and its connection to the Trump media partnership, Arizona's potential move to include Bitcoin in its strategic reserves, Circle's big USDC launch in Japan, and the exciting world of Web3 gaming with Forgotten Runiverse.
And on the sports side, we discussed the impact of Juju Watkins' injury on the NCAA tournament and the pressure mounting on Mauricio Pochettino and the USMNT.
So what are the big takeaways here? Well, it's becoming increasingly clear that the worlds of crypto and traditional industries are merging, creating new opportunities for adoption and integration.
We're also seeing digital assets like Bitcoin being taken more seriously by institutions and even governments.
And in the entertainment world, Web3 gaming is offering a glimpse into a future where players have more ownership and control.
And of course, the world of sports continues to be full of drama and unpredictability.
So here are some things for you to think about. How will the growing intersection of crypto and mainstream sectors change our financial and technological landscape? What are the potential upsides and downsides of digital assets playing a bigger role in state-level finances? And what does the rise of Web3 gaming mean for the future of entertainment?
Those are some great questions to ponder.
And that's it for today's show. Be sure to subscribe to the Defient Podcast and follow the Defient for more in-depth analysis on the stories shaping sports and culture.
Until next time, keep exploring and stay informed.
Stay defiant.
See ya.